I will start with a quote. In the glade, knowledge is deeper than the roots. It is a story of time and care that demonstrates strong materiality and creates a presence in the object, where traces of the hand can be sensed.
So says Helena Sandström, the curator of the exhibition The Glade, shown here at Luxdalarna during the Southern Sweden Design Days. The next talk will discuss the craft artist's closeness to the material, tactility, focus, technical skill, and artistic intention. It is time for a conversation about crafts. Welcome on stage, Helena Sandström, Linda Sondra, and Emilia Sundqvist.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And welcome to a conversation about crafts. I'm Linda Sondra from the Swedish Craft Center, and we're a national members organization for professional craft artists with around 750 members from all over Sweden. And we work for our members. We try to highlight this amazing artistic field, and we support craft artists in many different ways. For Southern Sweden Design Days, as you heard, we have produced 2 exhibitions actually, with 19 craft artists. And here at main location Luxdalarna, we are showing The Glade, a place for contemporary crafts. And this is an exhibition about materials and unique objects. It's about closeness to the materials. It's about presence and the language of the hand. And it's also here to say something about consumption. The unique objects in the exhibition are a contrast to mass-produced objects. And it invites reflection. And I've got here with me today the curator for the exhibition. She's also a silversmith and jewelry artist, Helena Sandström. Hey.
Hello.
And I've got one of the exhibitors, textile artist Emilia Sundqvist.
Hello.
And our conversation today is going to focus on the craft artist and the relationship with the material. And I'm curious to find out, we heard a few things about these points before. Tactility is one thing that I'd like to talk about, and technical skill, function, and artistic intentions. And I would like to start with you, Emilia.
Yeah.
If you could tell us about your materials. You're a textile artist.
Yeah. I started out with painting in my. I study in Vienna, and then I think I find a dollhouse in a flea market that looked like very similar to me and my partner's apartment by that time. And then I decided to make 2 dolls for that little dollhouse, and that looked like us. And it went really fine. Like I made 2 dolls the first time, and it felt really easy. And I also was interested in Tracy Emin. And the way she can paint with the textile, and I also feel my baby, go out with her.
Now you need 3 dolls for your dollhouse.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I think it just felt very easy that you can bring it home. You don't have to have a studio. You don't get this in Vienna it was very trendy that you have to use the real turpentine and the strong things for I don't know, I just feel like it's so much more easy for the lifestyle with the textile, and I think that is you can work with textile around your life, which I think is great that you can be so creative whenever you want. Yeah,
Great.
How was the transition between working with the 2-dimensional media to the 3-dimensional?
I think it I paint on my sculptures as well, and I have to be very like, I cannot like paint many layers. I have to hold myself back a lot. And no, I think it was a bit of a struggle in the beginning, because I felt like you have this idea that painting is so romantic and it's like maybe the highest status in the art world. But now I feel like I can see that the craft it has so much value, that it's so wide. You can connect to lots of people with it, and yeah, I think for me it's like painting with textile in a way, that I can feel like I'm almost sketching. That it's very like it's very free in that kind of way. I don't miss it so much now. No.
I think that maybe it adds something, the third dimension.
Yeah, and
And if we talk about tactility, it's something that you hold in your hand when you work with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that you are able to like kind of decide how the material should be. I think it's very satisfying that you can like push and squeeze, and it's like it's a different way of painting, I guess, but also very similar, I think.
Very interesting.
And you have two materials in a way. You are a silversmith and you're also a curator. And in this context, you're here as the curator of the exhibition The Glade. And how do you see your curating as a material when you work as a curator? How?
Well, the exhibition is the final the goal, and then each of the objects that I choose for the exhibition, then they are my material. So for this exhibition I chose pieces that had this poetic sense that I think Emilia's pieces really have, and I work with this theme, the glade, as a metaphor for the big dark wood of all these mass-produced objects that just flows in the world. These factories just spit out ill-designed objects, and I wanted this exhibition to stand out, to be something else, and to show the qualities of the handmade and the really well thought pieces that have taken time to make, and that are not here by coincidence. Someone really wanted something with it. So
that kind of leads on to the function of craft. We're in a very design-oriented context here, and for both of you, how do you see the function of craft?
Yeah, I think like my work is more decorative. They are not function, and I don't know. I think that's a bit hard question. Also, my mom is a pottery, also she makes functional objects, but still with this craft. So I'm very much in that tradition, that something should have a function, and that you need hard work to become a good practitioner. But I think it's important also with things that are just made to be beautiful, and to like maybe make some kind of atmosphere and association in the home or in public art. I think I think I'm very new to the design context.
But I think that's a function too.
Yeah.
In my world, that's a big function. I mean, it's beauty for the soul, or something to reflect on, or that evokes something that evokes questions and thoughts. So that's functional objects for me as well. It doesn't have to be a cup or a glass to be functional.
There's something poetic.
Oh yes,
play,
and I think we really need that, and I think we have forgotten that in our Western world.
Yeah, definitely.
Emilia, looking at your creatures, we see one of them on the screen behind us. Yeah. And I also know that you've brought something.
Yeah.
And your sculpture is a bit like animal creatures, but
Yeah.
they're like human-like animals and
Yeah.
animal-like humans. Would you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah,
And
I think it's about like I think this one that I brought, it's not an animal, but it's like this. When you find something maybe that you associate to something else, which I think is so fun, and also that it's like it reminds a bit of the childhood when I don't know that you take something and it becomes something else, and I think that's very nice. And this was I found like on also a second hand, and then I thought it looked really like a corset. And I feel like I wanted to make 2 little legs that walks. But then I just like, I had these legs home and you wanted to have something work in progress. And then I'm a bit like, I think it's a bit fun with this trend of like, it's been like a cowboy trend with painting. And then I think it's very nice to take it like the very feminine kind of cowgirl and make it in fabric, and and still it's very like it's a lot of care to like this is very like polyestery and plastic material, and I don't know, to like wrap it in and take care of it. I think that's something that I think is nice with this with textile, because it's so much about to care about like the minor. I think is interesting with craft, and like your necklace is like this super little that becomes something like filled with I don't know, almost energy or something.
This is a necklace by Hanna Liljenberg, and it's a part of the exhibition. And Linda is wearing a necklace by Sanna Wallgren, and that's also a part of the exhibition. So we borrowed them to show a bit of what's in the exhibition.
And you talk about cuteness a
Yeah,
lot. What does
I
that
do.
mean to you?
I think it is a describing word that we also tend to not take so. We don't take it so serious, maybe, because it's very like connected to the feminine and the infantile, and I think it's something that I am very. As I have also grown up in this very like my mom, almost this like Japanese cute kind of symbols with flowers. You always paint a face on her cups, and it's like it's so much cute things where I grew up, and it can almost be an overflow of that cuteness, so it becomes a bit creepy. And I also think that we tend to think things are cute when it's a bit weak, and that I think is a bit interesting. That it's like cringe a bit to our like. It's not at all. It's not at all like. It's a bit complicated, and also that in art, the context that if you describe something as ugly or pretty, but describe something as cute is a bit like, is it ugly or is it good or bad? I think it's a bit like, I don't know. It's interesting, and I have gone in a lot to like contextualize the cuteness in art and stuff, but I'm also trying to like not focus too much about it, because I think it's so much more interesting in, I don't know. But do you think there is something with cute in craft? Or do you think it's like...
I'm thinking about the hierarchies.
Yeah.
Because it's not betraktat som it's
no, it's not seen as
considered
something,
as something good and strong, and the male is always considered to be the better. So I think it's interesting to work with it and to raise it. And I think you can make connections, because craft is also considered to be lower
Yeah.
status than art. So I mean that's a lot in that.
Yeah, I think like återerövra is a good word in Swedish, but it's I don't know now in English. But I think that is always interesting when you can maybe the weak in you can become something actually
Strong. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can use the weakness.
Yeah.
In some way, yeah.
I think that's a lot in my like this poodle that I think about my poodle who is like she can be very very like krävande like
Demanding.
demanding and but also I can see the soul in her can be very like mild and like stronger a way of kindness than many other humans.
And a lot of the craft that we see today is viewed online. What are your thoughts on that? Maybe talking about tactility as well. Are we losing out on something when we view crafts on a flat screen?
I think so, really. And I heard another textile artist, Kristina Skanse, an interview with her, and she said, when we ask to see something, can I see it? And we automatically reach out our hand. And I think we see with our hands as well. We don't see only with our eyes. So viewing things through a screen, we really miss a lot of dimensions and not being able to touch things. I think we need that too. We cannot be stuck with our screens only. We have to understand the world through our hands as well.
What can we do about it? Is there anything we can do?
I think there is
invite
visible in the society today because it's a lot of people going on these evening courses in silversmithing or in woodworking or sewing or on the train down here. I sat besides 4 persons and 2 of them were crocheting and 1 were knitting, and they didn't know each other. So it was. I think it's a lot of people are going back to craft in some ways.
Yeah. What do you say, Emilia?
Yeah, I definitely think it's something about this. Also, to have something that is not uplighted of a screen is so. Also, it's like therapy. Like it's like an opposite of be like scrolling. I feel like sewing or even go and look at real art and actually see that someone have actually touched it and that it's not super clean and that someone put a filter on, that it's like the reality. And but I also feel like it's great that you can reach out, like with Instagram as well, that you can find and show and stuff. But I think you have to see the things in reality.
I think it's a tool like all other tools, and I think we need a lot of tools.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to both of you, thinking about technical skill? What does it mean to be able to control a material or master a material? And also, I'm thinking about the materials that you guys work with, and also the tools that you use to master your materials.
I think it's super important. Or like the material for me is like, I try to just use like nature material. But it's so expensive. But I use a lot vintage and also old clothes. But the tools, I don't need so much tools. It's just a needle and maybe a pin set. So and
your hands are
and my hands, they feel so important.
Yes, that's always the most important tool.
It's a lot
I think.
of the hands.
And I think I see also skill as a tool. If you have a skill and your deep knowledge in a material, then it helps to get that expression that you want. You know how to push the material and to move it in that way that you want to realize that image you have in your head.
Yeah.
So I think it's important.
Yeah, and also when you have experience.
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like that becomes such a tool
Yes,
that you like almost like now I have made 2 shoes before,
Mm.
and it's super hard to make shoes, I feel.
Yeah, these are so lovely with the
Yeah, and I think that's also like, yeah, it's so valuable to be able to have the time.
And what does it mean to both of you to be part of an event like this one and an exhibition for you as a curator and for you as an exhibiting artist?
I think this was so nice, like that it's so big and that we can actually see the things, and also like talk about craft in this kind of context. I think it's super necessary and valuable.
Yeah, I think so too, that the craft is always squeezed in between art and design, and it needs to be shown and to be seen more than it is, I think, and it lacks arenas. So every time we are able to show how much great craft there is made today in Sweden, it's really good. I think there's so much that needs to be seen. So I think it's great.
Could there be other areas or platforms so we could see more?
Oh yes, I think
Yes.
we actually need more
Yeah,
platforms
definitely.
for
In Stockholm there is, like you worked for one of the best museums in Stockholm.
Gustavsbergskonstal, yes.
For craft. And now that closed, and I think that I would love to
It
have
leaves
like
an empty space.
yeah. And yeah.
Ja. Do you have anything that you would like to add or mention about the exhibition with the Glade?
Well, of course, we invite everyone to see it.
Of course.
And
But I feel like you have collected things that are a bit different to each other, like this, my white, very soft, delicate things with this monkey who is like something from mud.
yeah,
And I love how they feel like they are made for being together.
I think they have really a conversation.
Yeah,
and
and I
that's-
think that was so fun. I never seen my things in that kind of, that you have picked and choose, and also like, as Cecilia Levis, this little crutch.
Oh yes, I love
Yeah,
that. That
I love
makes
those
the
details,
piece.
but it
Yeah.
feels like you have a bit of humor.
Yeah.
Maybe that you can, in this kind of, I don't know.
Mm.
Or do you feel like that, or is it more this?
I haven't thought of the
No,
humorous side,
maybe
but
not
I think it's important, and
Yeah.
I'm happy that you see
Yeah,
that.
like these small details that are like.
I
think
always
that's
see
so-
the detail before the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
piece, but
Yeah.
and it was fun to be able to pick all these pieces and to make this glade, to make it stand out from the design
Yeah.
context.
Yeah. Is there any more craft exhibition on this, or like this Glantan in the?
Not like that one,
No.
but there are loads of materials, of course, and
Yeah, yeah,
materials
yeah.
exhibitions. So maybe we should just recommend that everyone visit the
Yeah.
exhibition, of course. And I think we'll wrap up
Yeah.
there. Thank you so much, Emilia, and thank you so
you.
much,
Thank you.
Helena, and thank you, Sanna and
Yes.
Hanna, for lending your jewelry to us.
Yeah.